Recognition is one of the strongest pillars of driving employee engagement. Appreciation is basically in recognizing a person's inherent value. It's not always linked to performance. Most of the average length of the citation message which people put in when they give out a recognition, okay, that's how you personalize the messages kind of thing, right? Average message length is only about 42 characters. 42 characters is what? It's saying, Partha, good job done, congratulations. No impact of that. So, these tools, nowadays the tools which we have, the tools which we have in our site, and some of our competitors also have, they prompt you to improve your messaging. For example, we know that it's very difficult for people to write lengthy messages kind of thing. Even though they might feel very strongly about the award, they find difficult to write. So for example, you can just pick up a couple of characteristics of the person which you want to appreciate. Discipline, team leader, and it builds out a message for you, and then you can modify that. So these are the tools which help. So the overall recognition is important. Digital tools help you in improving your recognition programs. These are some of the insights which came up. But what are companies doing? Or how are they designing their recognition programs? Most companies go by the historical method. I mean, I'd become a millionaire if I say every time people tell us that this is what we were doing, that's why we want this only. Okay? But I think there's a scope now to look at newer ways to do things. Of course, what's available in the market, what are vendors selling, what are my competitors doing, those are the different ways in how companies are designing their programs. But I think there are certain gaps where companies need to focus on. Having an overall employee recognition philosophy. Why are you having this recognition program? What are the objectives of it? Okay, just because the boss said we need to do digitalization of HR, just keep on doing a recognition program is not the purpose of it. Okay? Having an overall recognition philosophy is important. It should be mapped to the company values, the mission, the goals which are there, and very closely aligned with the demographics, organizational design. So if your company has higher number of blue-collar workers, you design your program differently. If you are a growing company, 200 people company, then you design your recognition programs differently. So all those has to be taken into consideration when you design a program. So there's a need to, really look at the recognition programs in a holistic way, and to make it more authentic and impactful. And that's where we came up with this AIRᵉ framework. So just after COVID, what had happened was we saw a lot of companies wanting to do some recognition programs with us. But the problem they were facing was that, hey, we need your help in designing the recognition programs. Understand the context of this. If you want to do organizational design, if you want to do comp and benefits, there's a lot of experience within the company. There are lots of expertise outside the company where you can get consultants to do that for you or help you with it. But recognition is a slightly growing area, it's a new area, the experience is not there. So when people asked us that help us in designing the recognition program, we looked around. We did a lot of research, secondary and primary research, but couldn't find anything. Then finally we came up with, we said let's create a framework ourselves. And we came up with this AIRᵉ framework. Appreciation, incentivization, reinforcement with an emotional connect. Appreciation is basically in recognizing a person's inherent value. It's not always linked to performance. But because the person has put in some hard work, put in some effort, or the person has been there with the company for 10 years, okay? There's a recognition which you do for that, okay? That's the appreciation pillar which we say. Incentivization, what do you do to make people or employees want to be recognized on this platform? You just can give, of course, if you have like unlimited budgets, keep on giving 10,000 rupees, everyone will be motivated, but you don't have that, right? So how do you make the program exciting for the employees to want to be recognized on the system? The reinforcement, what are the behaviors which you want to drive? Just by giving you can't keep on giving spot awards for everything, right? You want to drive certain behavior. maybe teamwork, maybe mentorship, okay? Think about those parts in the reinforcement part, and is it aligned to the company values? And the E is the emotional connect, which is there. And I put it in a superscript because that's a force multiplier. And I think in my previous speaker already talked about some of those authentic moments which are there, right? So how you deliver, how you personalize actually creates the best impact, the most important impact comes from there. So these are the 4 pillars, and this is what we say is, this is the air your employees need to breathe. I'll just, 2 or 3 slides which we have on the details about each of these 4 pillars. Appreciation. By the way, this is a framework, okay? We are just telling you these are the factors which you need to look into. Every company will have their own programs. You have to, based on your factors. How much coverage should it be there? Okay, how much frequency should be there? Coverage means, do you want to cover the blue-collared workers, the factory workers? Do you want to cover the contractors? That's a decision which you need to take. How frequently do you need the recognitions to happen? Does it have to have, normally I would say for the lower grade people or lower ranked people, you need a higher frequency there. But again, you need to decide on that. Incentivization, okay? There should be a clear path on what employees need to do to get recognized on this platform. Otherwise, I keep on hearing these complaints about it's like people gamify themselves that you give me recognition, I give you recognitions. But it should be very clear here what they need to do to get recognized on this platform. And what is the impetus for them to be on this platform? Monetary recognition? Yes, it is one part of it. Making it exclusive, making it socially visible. All these impact the impetus for the employee there. The reinforcement part. What are the behaviors which you want your employees to showcase? You have to be very specific. You can't say all good behaviors should be recognized on this platform. You have to be very specific that these are the behaviors which we want to drive. And when you also look at the execution part of it, once you know what the behaviors you are trying to drive, if it doesn't come in, then you tweak your programs there. And are they aligned to the company values? That has to be clearly seen. And the last part, the emotional connect, how do you deliver it? You personalize the messages, this choice of awards which are there. These tools help you in personalizing these messages. Please don't compare that with a face-to-face recognition. The tools will never win there. And how do you deliver it? Do you want the recognitions to be spread across in your Microsoft Teams or your Slack channel, everywhere it should be coming out? That is how you design your program. So these are the 4 pillars we say on how you design your program. We have a DIY calculator where you can answer some questions and you get a score, or you can come to our booth also to get that part. Now, not the last slide, but just reiterating the 4 things which I talked about. Recognition is one of the strongest pillars of driving employee engagement. You don't need data for that. Think about all the kinds of profession. Think about your own career. When you have been recognized, just a thank you from your boss, how did it feel? Digital tools help you in this whole process. These programs need to be re-evaluated and measured continuously because the company direction changes, the philosophy changes. You need to keep on measuring it continuously. Okay? And it should have some strong fundamentals around how you develop your recognition program. Now, of course, I have talked 15 minutes on this. So why should you give some importance to what we say? We have been there in this space for about almost 13 years now. And we have worked with multiple companies across domains. Many companies are our clients. Much more companies are not our clients, but we have spoken to them, right? So we know what they want, what they're looking for. So we know what the pulse is in the market around these recognition. We have other products also. Okay. And we have won a number of awards here, some big client logos which I have put in here. So G2 reviews, I'm sure most of you would be knowing when you buy B2B software, you go to this G2 site where a lot of reviews are there from clients. So we rank the number 1 in the world across categories in employee rewards and recognition. Okay, it's not just in India. Across the globe, across categories, we are the number one player in terms of the customer reviews. In Average report also came out recently, so there we are among the top players across the globe on this way. So what we are saying is coming from experience. It is coming from talking to multiple companies, and this just gives you a framework, and we can discuss further on this as we. A couple of days, of course, I'm here, and our whole team is here. But beyond that, also, please reach out anytime. Go to our site. Lots of resources around that. Thank you, everyone. I've got 2 minutes in case there are any questions. Yes, please. Mike.
Hello, Partha sir. I'm Ilyas. Thank you so much. I want to understand how did you land onto this problem statement, and how did the journey look like in the initial stages when you were trying to design the solution? And how did the journey look like when you were trying to onboard your first client?
So that is more like our startup journey. So I think we should talk about that later on. So it's not specific to the recognition space there. But of course, we didn't start off with this goal in mind. We had some other things in mind, and then we evolved as we listened to the customers there.
Would love to know that.
Sure.
On an offline level. Thank you so much.
Here, please.
So I would like to know, is this can be implemented for a smaller team of companies as well? Because in smaller teams, what happens is there is always lot of personal connects and lot of personal recognition, but still something when we bring into tech into the recognition, I feel it might be more impactful.
It is, but it's a balance between, as I said, physical recognition, face-to-face is always better. My estimate, okay, it's not a very scientific study, it's like my estimate is below 100 people, I think it's not worth putting all the efforts in a tool. Okay, below 100 people, I think you should be able to know each other's name anyway, okay, and recognize people there. Above 100, it starts making sense. So we are about 200 people company, okay, and we are spread across like 4 locations, US, Canada, there. Oh, by the way, one thing. So our major team is in Guwahati, Assam. So we have 200 people in Guwahati, Assam, where the majority of our work gets done. So at 100 plus, it becomes slightly difficult to keep track of, okay, whether I have really appreciated someone and all. That's where you start needing these tools.
Thank you.
Sir, excuse me, here. Here, sir, here. In the center.
Okay. Yeah.
When we feel that we are not recognized by the leaders, what should we do?
So you should tell them that you should use a tool like Vantage Circle, okay, to recognize us. Why are you forgetting recognizing us? I think this is also about the whole philosophy, okay? And on a serious note, it's about the company philosophy. Once you just put out that, hey, we have a R&R tool, start using this without having any objectives. Even the leader might not be, the light is very strong. Even the leader might not know what is required from him or her in the recognition program. So once you have a very well-designed philosophy around it, and the communication is done, I think it will come through, okay? So that's why nowadays most of the rewards and recognition is, the rewards part is the more focus. The recognition part is not the focus. And we are trying to bring that change. And a lot of our colleagues in the industry are also trying to bring it. So I think the company philosophy is required around the recognition, so that you don't miss out. I think there was, yeah.
It was a great presentation. I really loved
Thank
the
you,
framework. The big piece that I wanted to get your brain into is the emotional connect, right? We all have global teams spread across. It may be much easier to have the emotional connect with people who are physically co-located, right? How do you see, or what do you think are the best practices in building the emotional connect with people who are globally dispersed, different time zones? How do you see that happening?
So, very, very important. That's why the emotional connect we have put as a superscript, right? We are saying it's a force multiplier. You can do all the other parts if you don't have the emotional connect. It's like a Facebook birthday wishes, right? I mean, who cares? But Facebook can help you in improving your thing. So what we have seen is if you personalize the message. So some of the advanced companies which we work with, okay, their description of when they give, so, hello, Mr. X, thank you for helping me out there. But they're writing a very detailed description there. Why it's important, okay? Face-to-face, it cannot beat, but I'm saying writing, personalizing it, delivering it. How is it delivered? So I think in the previous speech also they talked about 30 people's birthday together. They are doing something like that, right? So here, maybe the leader does a virtual team room, okay, where they announce these kind of things. So how do you deliver it? Okay, those become important. Sometimes we are also involving family members in those recognitions there. Okay, so I think those bring in, but you will not be able to match the face-to-face in the same location kind of thing, but you can only do as much as possible to enhance the program, right?
You made me remember a letter one of my managers wrote me like a decade back. I still remember that.
Yeah.
He took the time to write a one-page letter on how I helped him in being successful. That's something it never goes out of my memory.
Absolutely. I
try to practice it and then do it for my team. Maybe there is an opportunity for me to do that. Thank you.
Absolutely, there's a space. We have a question, but do you, I think...
I have a question, Mr. Partha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful presentation. Very intriguing. I am from Conferry, UK operations, and I'm especially intrigued by this integration of Chat GPT and OpenAI, as you said. So what I would like to ask is, how much has it augmented your solution, and what are your experiences integrating with your solution to your clients? Thank you.
So my purpose was solved. I put ChatGPT in the presentation. I don't even know much there. But AI we are using. Okay, ChatGPT we are not really using right now in the tool part. We are evaluating how to use. That's the citation messages and all. Okay. Sometimes I know X, you have these two characteristics which I like, but I don't know what to write. So this AI part is understanding a lot of things which people have been writing. Okay. Because there's like millions of people who are writing this recognition messages. Okay. They're collecting the information from there and they're helping you write or compose a good message there. Okay.
Response to me.
It's a small part. I am sure there's a lot of things the ChatGPT can do. I don't think I am in a position right now to really say what we are going to do there. But of course, it's going to impact for sure. There.
Thanks for your perspective, Karthik.
You have to stop me. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I am available anytime, we can talk. Thank you.